acho que eu podia explicar também de forma. Show you how it
in the up position. So we don't use it when we're in transit up the coast of Norway. It's going to take 3 hours. So we keep that up because we don't want the extra drag. Alright. When we get to the top of Norway, we drop down to 500 feet, and then your daughter's shoelaces I'm coming undone there a bit. Don't want her tripping over inside the aircraft. We're going any second now. Just let me finish off this little bit. When we get to the top of Norway then, after 3 hours flogging our way up there at 145 miles an hour, we drop down to 500 feet and we spend 6 to 8 hours searching for Russian warships and submarines. Okay, and yeah, but sometime, any time now, there'll be a 380 taking off, and that is spectacular. Any time between about 20 past and 22, depending on its clearance time. Right, so where was I? Yeah, so we're searching for warships and submarines, and now when we're searching we do a lot of turning, and with the radar up like that, the wing will get in the way. When we're turning, the wing will get in the way of our radar, okay? So that drops right down, and if it went all the way down, you'd need to dig a hole about 4 or 5 feet deep down there. I'll show you a photograph when we get inside. Okay, so that's basically what we do, chasing Russian warships and submarines, which is great fun. All right. We're not at war with Russia. All right, they don't shoot at us or anything like that. They just wave to us, they get their cameras out.
Did you look out first? I know it's quite slow, wasn't it?
He's done this many times. So he's heard it all. I'll tell you what, if a couple of you like come across here just to make a bit more room. Right, now the radar is here, okay, and these big jacks here, hydraulic jacks, lower it down and raise it up. If we have hydraulic failure, I generally ask people, I say, how do you think we get it up? It's too long to land. It's longer than the undercarriage. If you look down here, if you lifted the floor and look down, with it all the way down, let's say we just had a hydraulic failure, so it just sinks all the way down. It's about 10 feet down there. All right, so it's longer than the undercarriage. So how do you think we get it up? People suggest, oh, we've got a winding handle like this, you see, wind it up. Nothing so sophisticated as that. We have a rope here. So if somebody takes the rope, climbs all the way down to the bottom there, ties the rope onto the radar, and then we get 3 strong men. It's called the heave-ho method of scanner retraction. Heave-ho, 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 and then tied onto there, now we can land, okay? Now, this is what it looks like. It's in sections, okay, like that. That's top section there. Then that's called search 1. That down to there is called search 2, and then we've got another, about another 3 feet that goes down there. You see, it's really long. Yeah. But when it's all the way down there, it's causing a lot of drag. Mind you, what we do when we're searching, we pull the engines back and we're flying about 125 miles an hour. It's not very fast, you know. A bit faster than a car, not much. If you've got a BMW, we're almost as fast as a BMW. Right, so on this aircraft, we don't have these, but all the aircraft had them in the Air Force. A pair of 20mm cannon here, okay? They're for shooting at submarines, by the way, not shooting at aircraft. And here are the pilots here. Navigators like me, we're the bomb aimers, so that's the bomb aimers position there. And this is the nose lookout. And as well as being the nose lookout, he's got a little joystick to move the guns and a firing button, so you know, and he'd be firing at a submarine in the daytime at about a mile away. Now I'm going to talk about war, but we train for war, but I've never killed anybody. I was in the Air Force 31 years, but I've never killed anybody. I've sunk lots of submarines, but we don't drop great big torpedoes on them, as you would do in a real war. We have these little practice bombs, which we do an attack on a submarine, and this little bomb about this sort of size goes off with a bang. The people in the submarine who hear it, they go, if that had been a torpedo, by the loudness of that bang, if that had been a torpedo, that would have killed us. So they fire off a green candle which floats up to the surface, and that, hey, we killed a submarine. Okay, but we haven't killed anybody. It's just pretendy, all right? So I've never killed anybody. But we train for war, all right? By the way, I've had Russians on board here, not in a group. These are individuals, all retired now, of course. They're just ordinary blokes like us. Well, I think they are. They train for war, you know, but they don't want to go to war any more than we do. But, you know, if your country goes to war, I'm afraid that's what they pay you for. But they're just ordinary blokes, you know, and we did all this training. Okay, actually, I loved it. It's fascinating work. So, right, so let's move on. Our peacetime job, though, is finding Russian warships like this and taking photographs of them. Okay, and I had a Russian lady here, a young couple. She was married to an English chap, and I said, as you fly past these, you often see the guns flying you like this, you see. And she said, oh, did they shoot at you? I said, what, shoot at us? We're not at war with Russia. No, they're training. You know, here comes that Shackleton, man the guns for practice. They're practice. All these young 18-year-old Russian lads are all going bang, 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 bang. Same as I'm attacking submarines with a little practice bomb like this, you see. It's not real, just pretending, okay? So we find that, and we take photographs of them. The intelligence people look at them, and they look for new radars, new missiles. There's 8 cruise missiles here. There's another 8 around the other side. Surface-to-air missiles to shoot us down, front and rear, guns all over the place. Really dangerous, but we're not at war with Russia. The other thing we're looking for is diesel-electric submarines. Now, when I went onto the Nimrod, the jet aircraft, we're tracking Russian nuclear submarines. Okay, but in this aircraft we can't do that, or we haven't got the equipment. So we're tracking diesel-electric submarines. All right, they're just like German U-boats during the Second World War. Most of the time they're on the surface because they go a lot faster on the surface than they do underwater. So if their target, one of our aircraft, well, our one aircraft carrier, is 100 miles away, there's only one way they're going to get there. It's on the surface, and that's how we catch them. Okay. Unfortunately, they have this that picks up our radar. So if they pick up our radar coming towards them, they're going to go underwater. Okay, so in the bomb bay under here, I've got 20 sonobuoys I can drop in the water, and our guys who operate that equipment can track the submarine underwater, send the information to me, and I can guide the aircraft around and drop a torpedo on in wartime, or a little practice bomb in training. Okay, and mostly though, we see them on the surface. They don't care. They stay on the surface, they wave to us, they get the cameras out and take photographs of us, and we get our camera out and take photographs of them. And here's our great big heavy camera. It's in the museum. We got this about this time last year. It cost a lot of money. It's got a film cassette on the back here. The film size is 6 inches square. You imagine the image size, the quality of the photo is fantastic. And but it's really, really heavy. Kept in a box here. So let's imagine we're flying along at 500 feet. We find something we want to take a photograph of. You depart whenever you're ready, when you've heard it all. Okay.
We'll leave it to you guys. Thank you.
Get some photographs?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
All right. See you again next time.
Thank you.
He's been here many times. He's an absolute maniac about aircraft. The youngster that is. As I was when I was a teenager. Anyway, yeah, we find something we want to take a photograph of. Now we've got a 10-man crew. 4 of them are senior NCOs, sergeants, flight sergeants, warrant officers. Okay, and they do lookouts, galley, radar there, radio up front, and nose lookout and gunner, they do all those jobs. There's an officer who's in charge of them. By the way, it's not us five, there's 5 officers and 5 senior NCOs, but it's not like us officers and those NCOs. If you treat them like, shout at them, you know, they'll say, well, find your own submarine then. We depend on them, not just for cooking in the galley, but for finding the submarine and passing me information of the submarine underwater. You know, it's more like family on board the aircraft. I'm Nev, he's Bill. On the squadron, I'm Sir, he's Bill. You know, but we fly together for a long time. My first crew I was with for 18 months. Second crew, 2 years. So we drink together and party together and all the rest of it. Okay, now, so we found something we want to take a photograph of. The pilots will fly round it and come alongside, bring it down the side here. Let's say there's a guy in the galley here making tea and coffee for everybody. He stops doing that. We've got a loudspeaker there, so he hears we've found something we want to take a photograph of. So he drops what he's doing, his cup of tea and all the rest of it. Comes here, opens this box up, gets the next one. Oh, it's really heavy, puts it over there, and then goes and sits right where you're sitting there, okay? This is where we take handheld photography. Now, I want you to imagine, I know it's winter time, let's imagine it's snowing out there and it's freezing cold or raining or whatever. Now, sit back a minute. We don't take photographs through plastic. So this, remember we're going along at 125 miles an hour, okay? This goes open. Funnily enough, the air going past actually sucks the air out. So it doesn't get, well, it gets cold because no insulation here.
Yeah.
We've got insulation from that door forwards to keep the crew warm. In the nose, we've got petrol heaters that blow hot air through and keep everybody up there. Down the back here, it's freezing cold and really noisy because you've got 2 engines just outside here. And if ever I say pardon, by the way, we're all deaf because flying on this doesn't do your hearing any good. Nimrod's just the same as well, just as bad. Different noise, but really noisy. Anyway, the pilots will bring the ship or submarine about a quarter of a mile away. We're at 500 feet, remember, and the guy sitting here, click, 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 and that's what the Shackleton did for 40 years, 1950 to 1991. Okay, I was on it for 6 years. Okay, there we go. Let's move on forward then. I'll sit here for a minute.
Come back, look, it's not.
Okay, fudge up, make room for everybody. There's room, there's a seat here if somebody wants it. Okay, now, just to show you, this is the new Poseidon we're getting this year. Boeing 737 converted. It's got a bomb bay and all the rest of it, so it can carry weapons as well. But it's a civilian aircraft modified for military use. Everybody's buying it. It's the latest aircraft. We're getting 9 of them in the new year. By the way, on the Nimrod and the new one, we'll have a lot of ladies. Okay, now she's the navigator. American exchange officer here. Okay, we have exchanges with Canada, America, Australia, New Zealand. We send people over there, they send people over here. Exchange of ideas. You know,
Yeah.
Very good system. Anyway, these look like rest bunks, don't they? That's what they're called. But we never used them for that because we got a 10-man crew. We'd often carry a couple of passengers. Could be Coast Guard, could be ground crew, admin people. They come along once. This is the North Atlantic, by the way. This is on a calm day. On a rough day, it's really rough. I'm not exaggerating. It can get really rough. So you're bouncing around like this. People come along for one flight. They never come back again. But we get used to it. And everybody's sick when they first come on this aircraft because you're bouncing around like this all the time, so it does make you sick, but you get used to it after a while, and so you're not sick anymore. And we have 2 main meals, 2 snack meals, and this is where we store all our food. All right, so we have boxes and boxes and boxes of tinned food here, and up here a whole load of eggs, bottles of milk, loaves of bread, packs of sausages, packs of bacon. We didn't do badly, I can tell you. We're flying for 12 to 15 hours. So the longest I've flown is 15 hours 23 minutes. Mike, our pilot, who was in yesterday, he's not in today, with an extra fuel tank in the bomb bay just down the back here, he's flown 18 hours. believe me, that's long. 15 hours 23 minutes, believe me, is like forever. Anyway, we had 2 main meals, 2 snack meals at that time, and this is what, have you heard of this word here before? No? Mum and Dad? No? Honker stew?
No.
Well, it's an Australian word, I think. It sounds like Australian. I hesitate to say this. It's the noise of people being sick, okay? So we call that honking. Alright, you must know what it's like, the sound of people being sick maybe. Anyway, so we call that honker stew because everybody, literally everybody on this aircraft, when you first get in it, you're sick a few times, then you get used to it and you're not sick anymore. Anyway, we call that either honker stew or honkers, and we can make tea and coffee there, by the way. We've got a saucepan and a frying pan go on here, so we put the saucepan on here. The base of the saucepan goes down into there. Let's stop it bouncing on the floor. Okay, and a frying pan we've got, and that base goes down in there too. Stop it bouncing on the floor. I'm not exaggerating about, you know, this is what you like all the time. Mostly we're strapped in, okay, but somebody's got to cook the meals. So he's hanging on to this and stirring the stew with his spare hand. Anyway, so honkers stew, we put the saucepan on, switch it on, open up tins of beef, potatoes, carrots, peas, and then add whatever the crew like. You could add curry powder, chilli powder. I like Worcester sauce in mine, personally. And we all like to bar of chocolate or a Mars bar chopped up into our beef stew, which you might think is a bit peculiar, but South Americans mix chocolate and beef in their meals a lot. And believe me, a nice thick stew, made all nice and thick with some nice gloopy chocolate in it, in the middle of the night, of a cold winter's night, is a bowl of stew, makes you warm, fills you up, and makes you feel good. Okay, so that's a main meals, two bowls of honkers at 6 hours apart, something like that. Snack meals, well, I'd leave my second navigator. There's 2 navigators. First navigator, that's me. Second navigator, he's done the 6-month course, he's still learning the job. Okay, so I leave him navigating up the coast of Norway back there. After we're safely airborne, I come down here, put the urn on for 2 cups of tea, put the frying pan on here. We don't have any oil in those days. Big pack of butter, big chunk of butter into the frying pan. 2 eggs into there. We've got a grill here. Open a pack of bacon, stick some bacon into there. 4 slices of bread, 2 bacon egg sandwiches, some sauce, 2 cups of tea, 1 for me, 1 for my mate, my second navigator. Okay, so that's a snack meal. Other snack meals I've had: baked beans on toast. You can do toast in here as well. Baked beans on toast with bacon, scrambled egg on toast with bacon, a couple of boiled eggs with toast soldiers, you know, a couple of poached eggs on toast with bacon, or just fry up some sausages, sausage sandwich. You know, it's man's food, all right. By the way, I didn't point out, but down the back there's the gentleman's toilet with a stand-up bit and a sit-down bit. It's just a caravan type toilet, you know, it's a bucket in other words. But it's good enough for men, isn't it? You know, it's not what men are like. Okay, now this is the dining room for 10 or 12 hungry men. Looks a bit small, doesn't it? That's because most of us ate where we worked, up here. The only people who can't do that are the pilots with their flying controls in the way. Okay, so you're going to go up there any second now. So got your cameras with you, mobile phones with your cameras, and take photographs of these youngsters flying the aircraft. All right, well, we'll do that next. Anyway, because the pilot's got their flying controls in the way, one pilot's flying it at meal times, the other guy's down here having his meal. When he's finished, they change over. Okay, right. Now, these things sticking up here, these are the wing spars, hold the wings on. So we've got to have these, but I'm afraid it's not like a passenger aircraft. Okay.
Come over it, mate.
Yeah.
No.
Jump.
No.
All right, climb. Go on, you can do it. You can do it.
Go on, Nicky, show him what to do.
I'm 81 years of age. I can do it, so I'm sure you can.
That's it
Yeah,
now.
this is better. There's another step on the other side here. Come on, you can do it. Right, you can climb up into one of these seats here, pilot seats. You can hold on to the flying controls, pretend you're flying there, and Mum or Dad will take a photograph of you. Okay. Who's old enough to know what this is then? This is a grey-haired thing.
That's a snug.
Well, youngsters of your age usually say it's a light bulb.
It does look a bit like a light bulb.
Think before transistors. Valves. Alright, when I was a lad, I was 8 years of age when the Second World War ended. We had valve radios, and in the late 40s, valve TVs. They don't work until they're all heated up. This is a heater. So you switch your old radio and TV on in those days, and it takes 10 minutes to warm up. All of this gear here is all valve gear. Alright? But they're military specification. They're made to keep working despite going bouncing up and down. And if I had an airline pilot here, which often we do, I usually wind them up by saying, look, pilots like to think they make nice smooth landings all the time. Well, occasionally they do, but in bad weather, if they smash it into the ground, you know, and you all walk away from it, that's considered a good landing.
Yes.
Well, these are designed to survive all that sort of bouncing around and thudding into the ground at the end of the day. Okay, are we up in there? Right, climb up in there. And the other one on the other side. Yep, go on up there.
Oh, look, you climb up into it?
Yes, you can climb up there. Excuse me a minute while I just encourage. I've never known it so difficult to get youngsters to sit in pilot seats.
Do you want to go, Noel? Do you want to ride the plane? Come on in.
Yeah. Right, hold on to the flying controls, let Mummy take a photograph of you. Flying the aircraft.
That's it.
That's it, well done. That's the way to do it. Now, what about your elder daughter?
You going over?
You must be brave enough to go and sit in that other seat.
Yes, we are. You're 8.
Right, ready? Big smile for Mummy. I'll tell you what, if you stand there, I'll take one of you, all of you there. Oh, sorry. Right, is everybody looking?
Yeah, all about
Everybody looking. Everybody up there and click. There we go. Good smiley photograph. Right, I can't believe nobody's going to sit in that seat.
Go on then.
Come on, somebody's got a big brain. That's it, well done. Now, that is, you've got 2 of those things. Your brother over here has only got 1. That's because that little one you're holding on to there, that's for taxiing the aircraft on the ground. Because the runway's over there somewhere. So you press that little button there. See the button on the top? Right, yeah, you press that down, and the nose wheel's down there, and that's like driving your car using the nose wheel to steer the aircraft round to the runway. When you're on the runway, you let go of the button and then take off using the big one. Okay, so hold on to the flying control so Mummy can take a photograph of you then.
That one. Do you remember what that one does now? Yeah.
Well, you can get Daddy in there in a minute
No,
if you like.
over here. Good.
Most of the kids really want to get up there, you know.
Pretty cool.
Now, down in the nose there, normally we'd have a nice leather mattress down there for the bomb airmen. That's the 2 navigators. One of us will be the bomb air. That blue glass down there is a low-level bomb site, which is for doing a night attacks on submarines. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to sit there in a second and explain a bit, because this is where the 2 navigators sit. You see. You can go down in the nose if you want to, but mind your head as you go down there. Yeah, in the nose we should have a pair of 20mm cannon, but we don't have them. We're making some wooden ones. The one at Coventry actually has wooden ones, all painted up. They look totally real. Yeah. So it's just a case of time, and you know.
Yeah.
Cool. You want to go down there now?
Okay. Well, if I can explain to you, I'm just in here. It's all right. You stay there.
You want to go down that way?
Yeah, it's
down there.
well, I had a chap here the other day. He had to leave with claustrophobia.
Oh, okay.
My granddaughter, when they were a lot younger, this must have been about 10 years ago now, they said, how do you possibly work in here, Grandad? It's so tight and small. Well, it doesn't seem small to me, but anyway, let me explain this. This is where I sit with two navigators. I'm the first navigator, senior, and then I have a second navigator who I can shout at, you see, and tell him what to do. We change seats every 3.5 hours. So when he's navigating up the coast of Norway, this is England here. We've been to Cornwall. This is Cornwall here. Okay. Been to Newquay. Yeah, where our big Air Force base is here. This is Wales over here. This is the what do you call it? Bristol Channel. Yeah. And the Irish Sea. Anyway, he's navigating up the coast of Norway for 3 hours. So what am I doing? I'm sitting here going. Well, I made him a cup of tea.
And his bacon sandwich.
Bacon egg sandwich. I've eaten mine, drunk my cup of tea. I'm going to be making decisions when we get to the top of Norway in 3 hours' time. We're flying for 15 hours, so I've got to get some sleep. The pilot's have some sleep. One pilot flies it, the other guy has a little doze. So I'm sitting here. And then I wake up after a couple of hours, and then we change seats. And we're starting the search now. My second nav comes here because this is for attacking submarines. Now it's peacetime. We're not going to attack any submarines in peacetime, alright? Unless it's an exercise. And also, we've got to find a submarine first. So my second navigator has worked for 3 hours. He can now have a little. Okay. So this is the main navigation equipment here. It's all cogs and gears, but it all works very well. Now it produces latitude and longitude. Now if you don't know what those are, here, look, this is these lines here are latitude lines. These lines here are longitude lines, so I can see where we are using this readout here. But that's not a very easy way of seeing where you are. So we have these two projectors, okay, and they have a glass plate underneath them, and they project down onto the tables here. A light arrow, about that size, little arrowhead on it, little bar like that, that's where the aircraft is. Okay, so this would be here at St Morgan near Newquay. Alright, I was there for 8.5 years when my two daughters were very young. People don't realise what have you ever been to Cornwall in the winter time? Well, in the summertime it can be very lovely. Hot. But we bought a house there in October, I was posted there. And there was a massive gale coming in here, and my wife said, we're right on the coast, we bought a house on the coast. She said, we're going to die of exposure here. People don't realise they come down in the summertime, say retired people, and think, oh, let's sell our house in South East England and buy a nice house in Cornwall. And they come down in the winter time, and they have snow down here as well. Not very often, but anyway, right, so he looks after the safety of the aircraft, he navigates the aircraft. This is for attacking submarines here, so I control all the weapons on board here. I've got this clockwork timer here, which is rather interesting. See this here? I press this red button and wind this up like this. Right, so I've wound that up to there. Now, these are the release contacts for the depth charges. So there's a broken tooth here. But when I select 6 depth charges, now in the Bombay I've got 12 Second World War depth charges. They're for attacking submarines on the surface, or periscopes going through the water like this. If you imagine the water's like that, there's periscopes going through the water. You see them because they leave a big wake behind them, very white wake as the submarine moves through the water. So daytime, the pilots do attacks, just like this one. The pilots do daytime attacks. They drop down to 100 feet. Now that's 120 feet from there to there. Okay. And in fact, look, let me just show you this one. You know, I said we don't drop real torpedoes when we do attacks. This is the size of bomb that we drop. So it's only about that sort of size. And it goes off with a bang. All right. And the submarine goes, all right, that was close. That would have, if that would have been a real torpedo, that would have killed us. Okay, so I've killed lots of submarines, but all in training. Anyway, in this particular case here, then the pilots see the target. Now this is what we use as a target here. Okay, obviously it's not a submarine, it's called a radar buoy. So we do radar homings here, and here's our radar scanner all the way down now. So it's about 10 feet long, sticking down there. The bomb doors are open. Now, instead of real torpedoes for training, we have 48 of these. Now, if we were dropping depth charges, we'd drop 6 depth charges. Let's just going back to that. This will be wound up to here. The pilots see a submarine on the surface or periscopes going through the water. They drop down to 100 feet, guide the aircraft on, hit the weapon release, and this goes tick, 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 tick. Just like this, drops 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 depth charges. If that's a submarine on the surface, the depth charges go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, spread over 100 yards in the hope that one of them's within about 20 feet. Okay, the same old ones they used against German U-boats in the Second World War. Nighttime attacks are done by navigators like me. So we've got a radar contact, where the pilots are being homed in by the radar operator towards the contact. The forward navigator goes and lays down on the nice leather mattress down there, switches on that blue glass is the low-level bomb sight, which is really accurate. At the meantime, I would select 6 depth charges here, wind up the clockwork timer. I also set the speed of the aircraft on here. And now, how do you think we see the target at night? I didn't explain to you, but down the back there, sticking out the side of the fuselage. So when you go outside, look at the fuselage just outside the door. You'll see 24 barrels sticking out that way. Okay, and they hold rockets. We call them flares, and at 1 mile from the target. Remember, it's night time. So 1 mile from the target, the bomb aimer there calls out flares, flares. The chap down the back who loaded all the rockets into the dischargers, the launchers, the bomb aimer calls out flares, flares. The guy down the back presses the start button. The flares go off like rockets every 1.5 seconds. So one at a time they sort of go boom, 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 and light up the sky. The bomb aimer looking forward, it lights up the sea as well. Sees the submarine, guides the aircraft on, hits the weapon release, and this goes tick, tick, tick. So again, like daytime, it drops 6 depth charges over 100 yards. Okay, so that's against a submarine on the surface or periscopes going through the water. I also have 3 torpedoes here for attacking submarines underwater, and in the bomb bay under our feet, I've got 20 of these sonobuoys. They're almost as tall as I am. So they're very big, they're very long, but that round cost £600 each, by the way. Yeah, they're quite. That was back in the 1960s, so I don't know how much they cost now. And full of valves, and a car battery in here. We didn't have lithium batteries, there's a car battery in here. So now let's just quickly imagine the. Oh, you come back.
Right. You guys haven't seen a membership card, have you?
Oh, the one he had before?
Yeah, he basically.
Alright, it's one of these, folks, if you've seen it around.
No, that's his.
I can't say I've seen it.
That's alright, we'll leave it to it. We'll take all
you might look on the way back.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's imagine we've got a radar contact. There's the radar down the end there. Now, it's night time, so that we can't see the submarine. The radar operator's given guidance to the pilots to home them in towards the submarine. Now that grey equipment there, it has an aerial on the roof that looks like a big spark plug. Okay, that's the aerial for that grey equipment. Submarines have that, and that picks up other people's radars. Okay, so the submarine's going to pick up our radar, and he's going to go underwater. You're not going to stay on the surface to be attacked, are you? You're going to go underwater. So by this time, I wake up, okay, because I'm listening on my headset. Even though I'm asleep, I'm still listening. And I wake up, we've got a radar contact. I switch my equipment on. I've got my aircraft symbol coming down here. Now this is the attack chart here. And with me, the submarine always starts in the centre here, okay? And so radar passes me a bearing, a direction and range of the submarine as it went underwater. Okay, now this is 12 miles here. That thick line there is 10 miles. So let's say he gives, that's north by the way. This is south towards me, east and west. Let's say he gives me the submarine went underwater in a direction 045 degrees at 10 miles, which is, here's 045, there's 10 miles. So I quickly move my aircraft to that position there. Now I'm going to guide the pilots in to drop a pattern of these sonobuoys across here where the submarine went underwater. Here's my weapon release that should be in a clip down there, which I don't have. So I've got that. In this hand I've got a pencil, because this is all, I've got to draw where the submarine goes. So how do I talk to the pilots? Because my microphone is here, you see. But I haven't got a spare hand, so foot switch down here. So as the aircraft's coming in here, when it gets to 3 miles here, I go, co-pilot, bomb doors open. He opens the bomb doors. I get electricity onto my weapon system here. Okay, these are my 20 sonobuoy switches here. Now, we don't have anybody manning these equipment. These are the sonics equipment, sonar, for tracking the submarine underwater. So the guy from the galley goes there. The guy from the nose comes running back here and sits down there. And I tell them, okay, aft sonics, that guy there, channel 06, this is VHF, okay, channel 06, forward sonics here, channel, say, 27. I'm just going to drop 2 sonobuoys, can't afford dropping more than 2, okay. As the aircraft gets to here then, I select channel 06, and then as the aircraft gets there, channel 06, now, pencil mark. Then I select channel 27 as the aircraft flies across here, channel 27, now, pencil mark. So I've got 2 pencil marks where I've dropped the sonobuoys in the water. Now, I go bomb doors shut. With the bomb doors open, all the cold air comes, freezing cold air in winter time comes up through the floor here, and it's really cold. But when we close those, the fan heaters in the nose blow hot air through here. Now, under here, I've got 3 of these. Oh, feel the weight of that. Here, carry it. Oh, it's very, very heavy, isn't it? What about your sister? You got a hand? It's heavy? Yeah. All right, there's another one down there. There's 3 of these. Funnily enough, they're called lighthouses. To do with lighthouses on the coast that shine to stop ships crashing into the rocks, you see. Well, they've got a lens here, there's a bulb in here, a lens here, and they project vertically upwards a little dot of light and a bearing line. So when I woke up and switched my equipment on, as well as getting my aircraft symbol, I've got dot, 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 bearing, bearing, bearing. So now I move the dot of light underneath my pencil mark. This is where teenagers with computers think, this is never going to work. In the Nimrod, it's all computers. You know, it does it all for you. But here, you've got to do it yourself, and you've got to be accurate too. So I move the dot underneath my pencil mark there. Then I use this one underneath that pencil mark here. Then I give these guys the thumbs up. They can start sending me bearing and range information. So when they do that, these 2 bearing lines, much sharper than my fingers here, come along and cross. Where they cross, that's where the submarine is. Pencil mark. Where's my aircraft? Oh, here it is. It's being projected down on my arm here. Okay, so I tell the pilots, come right, roll out on attack heading 360. So, oh, big heavy aircraft like this. They're going to come round here and come round on a heading of 360 that way. In the meantime, the submarine's moving. They're sending me new bearings. I'm plotting fix, fix, fix. I've got to drop a torpedo 300 yards ahead of the submarine. So I've got a 6-inch ruler with 100-yard markings on it. Okay, and I'm sliding that along and aiming the pilots. So I'm guiding the pilots out. So left, 10 degrees, steady, steady, left, 5, steady, steady. I'm still plotting fixes, moving my ruler along here, aiming 300 yards ahead. Then it's a case of, I deselect the 6 depth charges, I select one of my torpedoes, and attacking, weapon now, in goes the torpedo, big bang, or in case of this, little bang, okay, for training, little bang, alright, so that's the end of an attack. Now, I've got 2 more weapons. Now this is mainly for mums and dads, this one. I'm always a bit hesitant talking about this. There's a red flap here with N on it. It's a weapon release. What weapons begin with N? Not you 3.
Oh, nuclear.
Yeah, we had 2 nuclear depth bombs. You can imagine why I don't like talking to them. This is why, if I got teenagers here, I stress. I usually say, like to think of us, we're like policemen who train to protect you against robbers and things like that. So we train for war, but nobody wants to go to war. All right. Well, we have nuclear weapons, and these Russian guys I've met. I had a Russian Navy pilot, an Air Force pilot, 2 guys who reckon they were on that cruiser. So officers they were. And they're all retired now, of course, and an army sergeant. They're just ordinary blokes. They're not politicians, in other words. They're not Mr. Trump or Mr. Putin, or Mrs. May for that matter. You know, so they're just ordinary blokes doing their job. So this was a very interesting job, and I love this. And I did it for 25 years on the Nimrod and the Shackleton before I keeled over at the age of 47, which was a bit of a shock. Living up in Scotland with a house, a mortgage, and suddenly no job. And they don't pay for you to move back down south again. That's it, you're on your own once you're out the door. Anyway, yeah, we have a 2-man principle on the nuclears with the first navigator, I could be sitting there, and the first pilot sitting there. So when we, let's imagine sometime in the trip, by the way, I've never carried a live one. Carried dummy ones many times. We go through all the procedures as though they were live. You know, they're American weapons, so the Americans load them, and I go and sign from for the weapons from the American Navy officer. Then it's my responsibility to get them back again when we're finished with them. So sometime in the trip we get a message coming in from radio there saying, for training, for practice, NATO has authorised the use of tactical nuclear weapons. So that's one tick in the box, okay? So now, sometime later, I'm sitting there, my second nav's here, we get a submarine, he drops a pattern of sonar buoys, he's tracking it underwater. This is where I hear, I'm the first nav, I get on the radio to our friendly ships. We can't go dropping nuclear weapons around our friendly ships without telling them, or actually asking permission. So I'll get onto the air controller and ask permission. Let's say he gives permission. So now I've got the checklist out. I give the my second nav the authority to arm up number 1 weapon. So here's number 1 controller, here's number 2. So he arms up number 1. Then the last check I tell him is select number 1. So it's got a live nuclear weapon selected, ready to drop. If he pressed the release button now, absolutely nothing would happen, because the first pilot there, he's got a switch called the bomb release safety lock, and it's in safe at the moment, so this release button doesn't work. This is a 2-man principle, you see. They have it on small submarines. You've seen them with 2 keys. Well, I say, well, we don't have that system, but I'm the only one who can arm up, or we are the only ones who can arm up the weapons, but we can't drop them without the pilot making the bomb release live. Okay, so the first pilot goes, oh, I've got the message for training, authorized. He heard me on the radio, get permission from the ships, so he goes, bomb release safety lock live. So my second nav now still plotting fixes, goes attacking, weapon now. And when he presses that button, when he says now, the pilots who've each got nuclear release, they press their buttons as well in case our button doesn't work. Anyway, that's the end of my little story, and I think you've had enough in here, haven't you? You can go to sleep in there, you know, if you want to. These armchairs, by the way, we removed a lot of the armrests to make more room, but they were, in the days when I was flying in, they were really comfortable. So I'd have 2 armrests like that, and I just like that, and it's no problem getting some sleep, I can tell you. And then you get a bowl of stew, keeps you nice and warm inside. Okay. So you 2 girls want to be a pilots then?
No.
Oh, you want to? It's a good job.
No.
And we're going to be short of pilots, and it pays well too, which is another good reason. You want a good job that's going to pay you lots of money.
So look after mummy and daddy.
And granddad. And nanny. Okay? Alright. Anything to do with the aviation industry at all? No? Alright. Down the back, I always ask pilots, you see, I get a lot of airline pilots coming around here, and I ask them how the flying control systems work. You know, when he goes like that, how do they work? And they all say, all but two, and I've asked this question of many of them, all but two say cables. And one I said, how thick are these cables? He said, oh, about 1/8 of an inch. I'll go down the back and have a look at our cables. Two actually said rods. Out of all, must have been over 100 I've asked that question. And yeah, they seem to think in this big heavy aircraft it's cables. Cables stretch. It's alright, cables are alright on the Cessna. You have little 2-seater or 4-seater. And the toilets are down the back there as well. So you can see the pissoir there, the stand-up bit. It's alright, you go on for, as long as you don't go past there's a hole in the floor there. But yeah, see these big rods, so they're not cables. As you can see, look at these rods with levers turn those big 4-inch rods there. The nearer one goes up to the rudders, the far one, through all those linkages you see down there, turn another big rod going that way, and there's the elevators going up and down like that, okay? This is the sit-down toilet. Yeah. Okay. It's good enough, you know. We try not to use that, I might add. So we didn't hit each other.